Hi everyone, this is Nina Goradia. I'm a Somatic Experiencing practitioner on the non-dual path. This is a continuation of our Taking Our Power Back series, which started with this video over here, and this is the second video. So there's a lot going on in the world right now. And in this video, I'm going to be pointing to other videos that I think will be helpful, because I think it's really important that when all this chaos and energy collectively is happening around us, this very intense energy, we really need to focus on holding our center, staying in ourselves while having compassion for what is happening and responding appropriately rather than reacting. And so I really love this video I watched this morning by Michael Sandler, and I'm going to link it right here, and I'll also put it in the description box below. So I'm going to summarize a few of the things he said in this video, but it's an hour-and-a-half long video, and it was so beautiful. If you're feeling like you need someone to kind of walk you through self-soothing through some of these turbulent times, I highly recommend this video. It just frames the perspective so well about how we can hold this in a way that's the highest perspective. And then there's a meditation at the end to help you soothe yourself, to help heal wounds that you might be having come to the surface with some of the news. So one of the things he says that I completely agree with is that we want to make sure that we're self-soothing to feel safe. When things are happening externally, it can bring up feelings of unsafety inside of us, and then we react based on those feelings. And those reactions may or not be helpful, not only for our personal lives, but for our energetic contribution to the collective. And so we want to be mindful of that if this resonates for you, of course. So yes, there are things happening here in the physical, and my perspective, and feel free to disagree, but my perspective is that that starts from an energetic place, and then it manifests in the physical. So yes, we can do our best to respond appropriately in the physical, but we do need to have energetic hygiene and take care of our energy so that we are contributing in the most helpful way for the collective. And that's going to come back to ourselves as well. So when we are self-soothing by identifying the emotions inside of us that are coming up, and then he talks about using the Ho'oponopono technique. And I love that as well. You can say those words to your emotion. So you're thinking about the things that are triggering you. And sometimes it's hard for us to send love to the things that are triggering us, right? It feels like, oh no, that's the thing I'm against. That's the thing I'm in resistance of. But you can turn your attention in and soothe the feeling that comes up within you when you're thinking of that trigger. Because this is your precious emotion telling you how you feel about what's happening. It's on your side. It's simply the messenger, but you can help soothe it so that this inner child feels safe within your body. And so you can use those statements. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then watch how the emotion physically responds to these statements. And you can say other things as well. I see you. I hear you. I'm with you. You are welcome here. I give you permission to be here in my body. I'm not trying to get rid of you. Because when we're trying to get rid of the feeling, the inner child is like, what? You don't love me? Well, now I really don't feel safe in this body, right? You can see, you can explore, you can tell it the opposite statements, and you'll see the density that is created in the emotion, the insecurity that you're feeling in your body. So you really want to be mindful of how you're taking care of yourself through this time and through life, just so you can be on your own side in life. You want to be on your own side. Not that there's sides. We're on a non-dual channel and we're trying to see things from a higher perspective, but it's really not skillful to be fighting against yourself internally. You're going to be losing your energy, losing your life force. You want to bring that life force not only for your own benefits, but so you can anchor light here on earth and shine that to other people. Start working on things at the level of frequency. That's kind of what this video is about. It's the thing that you can't see, the formless behind the form, that we want to be tapped into, that we want to hang our hat on as the only thing we can sustainably rely on, is that frequency of who we are. You are the frequency of God. Don't forget, you are the highest, most divine frequency, and so is everyone else. When we remember who we are. Now, the ego can cloud that, right? And then we can identify with ego and we can react from there. But when we're centered in who we actually are and that highest frequency, we can respond to events from a higher perspective that is far more intelligent and has a greater wisdom than our limited perspective when we're looking through the filter of ego. So when we continue to come back to ourselves, center there, bring the attention back to yourself. Yes, we need to respond to things happening externally as we can skillfully, but we also need to either simultaneously or come back and forth, pull that energy back to yourself. And you will see that the more you stay here, you can then look at it and you'll see it differently. And you'll have a lot more creativity about how you can respond. And you'll feel a lot more supported. This goes into some of the stuff I was talking about in the previous video about a dream I had that was kind of giving some of this guidance. So as we pull this attention back to ourselves and we're self-soothing our emotions, suddenly what we are contributing to the collective changes. It's very helpful. So what Michael Sandler talks about is that when there's an event like what happened 2 days ago, everyone in the world is looking at the same thing at the same time. And what that is a window where we can transmute at an extremely high level because everyone's attention is on the same thing. And attention is where our energy flows. And this is how we can co-create with the universe and with each other. And we can use this window of time to send love, not only to ourselves and self-soothe, but once we're feeling safe, then it's not so hard to send love to the collective, to these difficult events and circumstances. It doesn't matter what side you're on, just send love. We're one collective humanity. The truth is oneness. When we send that love, what we're doing is the opposite of resistance or fear. And that love heals this sort of intense energy. It prevents things from escalating. It helps heal everyone's heart, not just our own. We have incredible power in this window of time, which is why I wanted to release this video today. We can use this window of time to respond with the highest perspective, the highest response possible. And so when we soothe this shaken inner child within us, what it is fear, resistance, unsafety. These are ego reactions. When we soothe ego reactions, that part of the ego melts and dissolves, and then it allows for us to access that highest frequency inside of us, our true nature. And from there, we are energetically contributing and co-creating a different reality. We are helping us all come together and have compassion. This is a moment where we can all come together. It's a real opportunity. So I want to really encourage you to watch this video by Michael Sandler if any of this is resonating for you. He also talks about where anger can be from that place of fear or unsafety. So it's very important that we're soothing ourselves. And then I want to also mention how this spiritual music that I listen to, and you can find any music for yourself that really helps you access that place. I'm going to link my favorite songs in the description box below, but gosh, never fails. They just always just pull me back into that place of I am. It's music by Snutham Kaur, and a lot of it is just saying I am, and I am that, and remember who you are. And oh my goodness, it's so beautiful because you can try to do this intellectually, but you can stay trapped in the mind if you're not in that frequency. Like you can do your best to point, but sometimes when things are very overwhelming, like what's happening right now, the music can get you there because you're focused on what you can hear. You're not focused on what you're thinking. And I've got a video about that here, focusing on sensory perceptions instead of on intellect. And when you do that, you can bust out of the prison of mind identification. So when we're watching the news and really focusing on intellectual pointers, things that are pointing us back into things that the mind does, things that the ego does, judging and evaluating and dualistic things. This is good, this is bad, oh no, resistance, reaction, attachment, aversion, all of these things. We are building the prison of our ego one brick at a time with each of those identifications. So when busting out of here, we're like, oh yeah, wait a second. There are all these little moments happening around us. I went for a walk this morning in the sun and I just noticed like the puddles in the grass, they were so sparkling. And I just noticed it because I was in this frequency of I am, and the birds and the bugs and the trees. And you start noticing these things, and then you're filling yourself up. So you're not as depleted by what's happening. You're filling yourself back up so that you can then respond. And it's like this ripple effect. It's going to affect everyone much more than other times, other moments, because we're all focused on the same thing. We're all aware of it. So I'm going to put those links in the description box below. And I'm going to continue this Taking Your Power Back series because it's really important that we realize like our power lies in our neutrality, our neutral, equanimous seeing, witnessing of what's happening. Observation is the highest level of intelligence because when you do that, you're seeing from the highest perspective and then you can respond from there. And our power lies in knowing where to place our attention, where we can't be just like pulled like a marionette. We can't be at the mercy of whatever emotions are getting triggered. And so we learn to place that attention where we want to place it. Okay, I looked at that enough. Now I'm going to place it within. Now I'm going to place it on sensory perceptions. And then you can find real freedom there. And so it's not a power over anyone else. It's not a power over circumstances even. It's not a power that causes us to control outcomes, but it's a power over ourselves and where we place our attention. And there's a real freedom in that because that can actually lead to peace. So more on this in upcoming videos. I wish you much peace and emotional freedom, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.